Thank you. Welcome, William. You can take your time and start whenever you can.
All right. Thanks. Can everybody see my screen?
Absolutely well.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I live in two worlds. I live in the clinical medicine academic world, but I also live in the biotech world. But I think there's some amazing synergy between those two worlds. And I work with a company, Intrommune Therapeutics, that is tackling food allergies. And we're tackling food allergies using a very unique delivery system, a platform that can deliver the medications that desensitize people against food allergies using a fully functional toothpaste. So essentially, we have two missions. The first is to create a safe and effective option for people living with food allergies, as there are not very many options. And the thing that we're trying to do is to allow people to live without fear. Every 3 minutes, somebody goes to an emergency room for an anaphylactic reaction against some sort of a food that they consumed. 200 people every year in the US are dying from food allergies, and that is way too much. But not only are we trying to reduce fatalities, but we're trying to allow the people who have food allergies, who live with that, and their loved ones, and the people who care about them, we're trying to reduce the fear. The fear is not just to consuming the food and having a reaction. The fear is also related to anxiety from being different from other people, to being separated from your friends at the lunch table. And I know exactly what I'm talking about because I am a severely peanut allergic individual, and more than once, peanuts have tried to take my life. One time came very close to it. So this is very much a passion project for me and my team. So what our product is a fully functional toothpaste that actually has food proteins, the first one being peanut protein, incorporated directly into it. And this has many benefits. This allows for good adherence to therapy because desensitizing against foods requires constant daily therapy for an extended period of time. Being in a toothpaste delivery system, the peanut proteins can also be masked in terms of their smell and their flavor, because people who are allergic to peanuts don't like to be around things that smell and taste like peanuts. And what the toothpaste does is it also gets the medication, in this case being the peanut protein, to the correct areas of the immune system where desensitization can occur. Now, how does this happen? So as I mentioned, food allergies are reaching epidemic proportions. Almost 250 million people worldwide are suffering with food allergies, and the number keeps going up. Almost everybody in this audience knows somebody who can't eat a food, who has a food allergy. Most people have that experience. And actually, a small number of foods actually account for the vast majority of food allergies. Our first product is going to be targeting peanut allergy because that's one of the most common and one of the most deadly. This is a very costly problem as well for the individual and for the healthcare system in general. Right now, there are very few options available for people with food allergies. The recommendation is, well, try to avoid the food that you're allergic to. And if you do have the food allergy, you're encouraged to carry auto-injectable epinephrine, such as an EpiPen, in case you do have an accidental exposure and a severe reaction, which occurs very commonly. I'm a physician who treats food allergies, and I do research on food allergies, and I'm involved with companies that are trying to treat food allergies, but even I don't always carry my EpiPen when I'm supposed to. And I grew up at a time in the 70s when EpiPens weren't even available. So there are very few options for people with food allergies. And the oral cavity is really a natural classroom for teaching the body what it needs to tolerate. This is the function of the immune system in the oral cavity very early on in our life and in our evolution. Things we put in our mouth tended to be safe. They were foods, even though they're foreign bodies, and the immune system needs to learn that those things are safe. And we can exploit that using this delivery system. Now, we didn't discover or invent this concept that putting food and airborne allergens in the oral cavity can desensitize you when you're allergic to them. This has been known for several decades using sublingual drops, and this toothpaste delivery system has also been used for airborne allergies successfully in the past as well. So what we're really doing is taking something that has been known to be effective for many, many years, and we're just making it better. With sublingual, the contact is mainly in the area underneath the tongue, but the immune system outside of that area in the oral cavity is actually much more active. The percentage of Langerhans cells, which are the active immune cells that lead to desensitization, are actually in their highest density outside of the area under the tongue. So this toothpaste delivery system actually contacts a wider area of immune tissue, and that's one of the main benefits. So without getting too sciencey, this is sort of how it works. The medication, in this case a peanut protein, dissolves in the toothpaste slurry that occurs when you brush your teeth normally. The proteins are positively charged and the cells are negatively charged, so they bind really strongly using ionic forces, and they stay there for about 24 hours. What happens is the Langerhans cells, which are the immune presenting cells, actually pick up those proteins, they incorporate them into the cell, they process them and express them on their surface. And then they travel to the lymph nodes, and that's where all the magic happens. When they travel to the lymph nodes, they interact with T cells, so these are white blood cells, that then differentiate into what's called T helper 1 cells and T regulatory cells. These cells put the brakes on the immune system, and those cells then get distributed back to the oral mucosa as well as to other areas. And when the body contacts the peanut allergen once again, the reaction is not as strong. And this is not really designed to help people who are peanut allergic eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches freely. They probably don't want to do that anyway. I know I don't. But what it does is it protects people against accidental exposure. And this is also a fully functional toothpaste, as I mentioned. So it cleans your teeth, it freshens your breath, it prevents cavities, it does everything that a normal toothpaste would do. So our market is large. There are 100,000 new peanut allergic sufferers that are entering the market. There's a substantial upside. With our company and our study that's going on currently, there are several near-term liquidity events that will be occurring. It's a low development risk because it's known through sublingual immunotherapy and through our experience with the toothpaste platform for airborne allergens that when you put allergens into the oral cavity, over time, desensitization does occur. There's a need for this. Patients, payers, and practitioners are seeking something. They're seeking new options in the market, and the FDA is also seeking new options because there really are none. There's a significant social impact to this. As mentioned, this is an epidemic. I think that is reaching epidemic proportions. And everybody wants to know why is food allergies on the rise so much? We know the reasons for this. I don't have the time right now to get into all the details, but I would love to offline with whoever wants to know. But suffice to say that this is not going to turn around anytime soon. We're going to be facing this food allergy epidemic for several decades to come. There's also a potential for multiple products with multi-food allergens and a pipeline that's going to occur after peanut allergy. And there's also comparators that have shown that this is a very investable type of platform. One of our main comparators was recently bought by Nestle a few years ago for over $2.5 billion. So this is a significant opportunity with a large total addressable market for peanut allergy. This is a product which is anticipated to be covered by insurance, so it won't come as a cost, out-of-pocket cost to the patient or a significant out-of-pocket cost. Our closest comparator has a fairly expensive product, and we're hoping to come in under that. But the main benefits to our product over our competitors is the reduction in the adverse events because this toothpaste and the proteins that are in it are not swallowed. There's optimized adherence because this is something that melts into your daily routine. It's assumed to have better efficacy, and that is being studied right now because of the wider contact with the immune system and also the potential for a multi-product platform. Intellectual property, we have exclusive global intellectual property license for food allergy immunotherapy using this platform. It is a global portfolio with 2 patent families. 35 patents have been issued to date, and that covers the formulation. It covers the delivery system itself. And there's expected to be a global protection for the next 10 to 15 years, and there's additional filings that are also anticipated. So there is a clear approval pathway. We have a phase 1B study that's underway. The FDA has been extremely collaborative, and there are other companies who have come before us with other delivery systems for peanut allergy. So the pathway is fairly clear. Because our API is a peanut protein, which is consumed on a regular basis, there's no toxicology review that has been required by the FDA. No PK studies, animal models that have needed to be done, which is a good thing because it's very hard to brush the teeth of small laboratory mice. So our milestones, we have raised a $6 million Series A. We've closed on that round. And currently we have opened up a Series B round, which is, we're targeting $40 million. With that money, we're going to be launching our phase 2 later this year. We're going to be working on our CMC. We're going to be working on our branding, marketing, building our team, and identifying those liquidity events and other market opportunities for us. So after our phase 1B, we were estimating a total valuation, 300 to 400 million. And then after our phase 2, we think we will be north of $1 billion. Our closest competitor is Immune, which is a company that uses oral immunotherapy. This is a similar peanut powder containing the allergenic peanut proteins, but it is swallowed on a daily basis. And that has caused a severe amount of adverse events that have occurred. Unfortunately, the company also got approval at the worst time, which is right at the beginning of the pandemic. So they've had some serious obstacles to overcome. It's difficult to do in offices, and they've had some problems with that as well. A very restrictive risk evaluation and mitigation strategy that requires doctors to sign up for a program, which has also been a problem. And again, the fact that this protein has to be swallowed, which is exactly what people have been told their entire lives that they shouldn't do. Another comparator is DBV, which is using a skin patch. They've had significant manufacturing problems, and they also received a complete response letter from the FDA. So they've been on hold for a while. They've had issues with irritation to the skin, patch adhesion. But again, these companies have achieved pretty significant valuation because there is such a need for this type of a product in the market and in the world. So we have a very seasoned team of veterans who have achieved success in their respective industries, in the healthcare industry, in the finance industry, in the marketing industry, the regulatory and patent industry. So very proud of this team. And also, this is a team where most of our members have some personal experience with food allergy. Either they've been affected or a family member has been affected. So this is very much a passion project for all of us. I'm the chair of the Scientific Medical Advisory Board. We also have a very seasoned group of advisors on our Business Advisory Board. So just at a glance and to summarize, this is a patented commercial grade toothpaste, which is able to deliver the drugs required for desensitization to food allergies to the areas of the immune system at the lining of the mouth, and that's where it needs to go. Greater efficacy is expected because of its expanded contact with the areas of the immune system that it needs to reach. We've had positive financing results. It's expected to be very safe because it is not swallowed. And we expect very little, if at all, epinephrine use. And so far, there has been none. Built-in adherence. So this is something you have to do every day. And this melts right into the daily routine, even to the point where people don't feel like they're using a medication. They don't feel sick. And that's really the key to having something that fits in perfectly with their daily routine. Plus, to maintain desensitization, you can do this for a year or two, but you probably will then have this desensitization wear off, and then you're going to be in more danger than you were when you started. So this is likely going to have to be a lifelong therapy, and brushing your teeth is also something you're going to have to do for the rest of your life. So that fits in very well with long-term therapy. And we also have a platform technology that is going to be very receptive for multiple products, multi-food products in the future. So with that, I'm going to say thank you, and I'll open it up to any questions.
Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate it. And I personally feel that daily routine is your secret sauce, because many people misses things time and again. And I have startups which will come with, daily Monday, Tuesday thing. It never happens. It's always a discipline. You
can have the best medication in the world, but if you're not using it, it's worthless.
It's worthless. Is that so? I'm going to open up the floor for my fellow judges, and I'm going to go last.
Okay.
I'm curious, what is the pricing of the end product and if it's prescription based or over the counter? And I'm also, okay, I'll let you answer this first.
Yes, thank you, Martina. Yes, this is going through a full FDA approval pathway. So at the end of this, it is expected to be covered by insurance. So it might depend on what the patient's copay is, but this is something that is anticipated to be covered by insurance.
And can you also clarify whether or not it alters taste?
Whether it alters your taste of other things?
Mm-hmm.
No, this isn't expected to alter the taste. It is it's a commercial grade toothpaste, so it has many of the ingredients that, but not all, that are present in commercial grade toothpastes. Of course, you don't eat usually right after you brush your teeth. It can make things taste a little funky. So as with regular toothpaste, you usually wait before you eat. But the nice thing is that this the toothpaste platform can mask the smell and the taste of the food. And people with food allergies have aversions. If you get me near a peanut, you know, I'm not going to hang around for too long. And if something smells like that, people aren't going to want to use the therapy, unfortunately. So this is the flavors that are in the toothpaste are able to mask the taste and the smell.
Thank you. Then also, how have you tried to validate that people are really interested in this and excited about getting this product?
Yeah, there's some desperate need for options for food allergy. And you know, the market is big enough to accept many people. We're not trying to be the king of the hill and take all of those competitors that I mentioned and eliminate them. That would be the worst thing. What patients really need are options, and that's something that people suffering from food allergies do not have. So that's our primary target, is to give people a user-friendly option that potentially they can use for long-term therapy.
Great, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Bill. Very nice presentation. I was wondering, could you clarify on the patents? You said the company owns 35 patents, or is this one?
Now, these are two patent families. There's 35 individual patents within those two patent families. And they cover both the formulation for the toothpaste as well as the method for delivering these proteins to the immune system.
And your company owns those, okay.
Yeah, those are owned.
Thank you. And then, so for how long would my patient have to use the toothpaste? Do we have data on that?
That is the best question, and we don't have really good data for that. We know that we can desensitize people, and the other products too. I say we, I mean the global food allergy community, not just my company. By doing this type of a therapy, people are desensitized when they use it for a year or two. But the thought is that you have to be continually exposed to the peanut protein in order to maintain that desensitization. With Immune, for example, they have people sprinkle peanut powder on pudding, for example, which they would have to consume every day. Other people have people consume peanut M&Ms every day. But again, a lot of people who are allergic to foods have aversions to eating the actual food. But potentially this has to be a lifelong therapy.
I see. And then it might be a silly question. So it does clean teeth at the same time?
Yes, this is a fully functional toothpaste. And that is the whole point, is this has to melt into the daily routine. So this can be used as your regular toothpaste. It will come in multiple flavors and, you know, sparkles for kids and things like that. You know, so it's going to be a toothpaste that people will love, in addition to getting their therapy along with it. So again, they're not doing anything different in their lives. They don't feel like they're taking medicine. They don't feel like they're sick. They're just living.
And then I understand right now your goal is a US market. What do you foresee for the future?
Well, we see once we get approval, we see this as a product that's really good for all ages. However, this is a product that is primarily going to be adopted by the children and the adolescents of the world. We're hoping to decrease the rate of mortality, of course, from peanut allergy, but also to just decrease the fear. Once peanut has been approved, our plan, and we will be starting that while we're developing the peanut allergy, is to go into a multi-food product. So to be able to desensitize to other things like egg, milk, wheat, things like that, shellfish.
And then an investor question is like, so what is the minimum ask and what would be the ROI?
Yeah, I mean, these are good questions. Certainly not an easy question that I could answer in this forum right now. I'm going to put my email address in the chat box. So I encourage people with specific financial questions or about our current $40 million raise to reach out to me, and we can begin those discussions. So I'll put that in there. But we expect several liquidity events as we go forward through our phase 1B, which is going along very well right now. And as we move into our phase 2, there should be several liquidity events coming within the next year or two.
Thank you very much.
So, Bill, thank you for answering the question. And the closing questions, I would ask very interesting and a basic question, like how do customers discover your toothpaste?
So this is a prescription product. So doctors like me, people come every day. I see several patients a day coming with food allergy, and they're asking about options. So this is something that they will know about because obviously we're going to advertise what we're doing. But this is something that you go to your physician for, and it is through a prescription. It is.
Have you noticed any patients who are, so let's say, options? Remember, you had options.
Yes.
So when you go to, I don't know, Costco. So when you go to Costco, there are only two options for ketchups because people take a lot of time to select. So they always give you two options. So a couple of my friends and everybody, they will just go somewhere where they can get two options and pick one, right? Easy. So have you seen anybody coming back and say, I don't like this, but you're prescribing me, but I'm going to use my old toothpaste and hybrid and use it. Have you come across like that?
Yeah, so this in the respiratory space, which is on the market, the peanut toothpaste is not on the market. It's still undergoing the FDA approval process. But if that was used once per day, many people brush a second time per day. And then if they wanted to use their favorite toothpaste, a whitening toothpaste, they could certainly do that as well. It doesn't mean that they can't use their own.
Got you. Well, what's the general feedback you're getting?
The general feedback has been fantastic. It's something that's easy to do, and it's something that's safer than what's out there right now. Right now, to desensitize, you have to literally consume the thing that could kill you. And those proteins going through the stomach are very, very dangerous, as I know from very personal experience. So the key take home for our product is you get the benefits of desensitization without the dangers of having to swallow it.
Got you. So now I will inspire you. A couple of years ago in Bay Area, since it's targeted to children and as you mentioned, a younger population, and that they don't like to brush. Forget the toothpaste. They don't like to brush. So what they did was they made a toothbrush with gamification, and that guy became an overnight millionaire in Bay Area. It's a very beautiful story of a toothbrush. And I think if you can collaborate like toothpaste, you both guys can become billionaires. So with that starting note, please leave your contact information so we can follow up on investment and financial things. So thank you so much. And Bill, it was a very encouraging talk.
Thank you very much.
We're going to bring back.